The truth, you know. Hey, yo, you recording? You recording? All praises.
It's time to rise up. No more being lazy. Cause when you know the truth, that's when they call you crazy. See, round here, it ain't all gravy. Some people rhyme with scraps, and it's all safety. They say what goes around comes around. I guess that's why some of my enemies don't come around. I speak the truth in every bar, and it's a light in every star. Let's wake up and realize who we are. Why? Because there's blood behind every scar. Look, the Jews were black, it's written in the book. They say you wanna hide something from a black man and put it in the book. Hey, facts. But that's just how it is. It's sad, but that's just how it is. But we get blamed for the way we live, but they never blame the ones that taught it to us. It's just a life cycle, but I'm just trying to be the best, just like Michael. It's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Where I come from, you gotta put away your fears. Only a few wanna see you up, but most people wanna see you down. That's why my smile it turned to a frown. When you a king, you deserve a crown. It's all praises to the Most High. I'ma keep His commandments till I die. I know sometimes we like to ask why, but I learned that you gotta let the Lord work. He do it. I know I'm here for a reason. Damn, they killing for no reason. Yeah, it's been a bloody season. My people constantly fighting demons. See, I appreciate everything. All the love, all the hate, I mean everything. Giving wisdom to my offspring. We laced up like shoestrings. Just putting on for the home team. They'll try to block your shine like sunscreen. They will. Yeah. Hey, don't mind me just giving wisdom to my offsprings. Hey, let's keep the holy days, and stay away from old ways, Let's keep the holy days, and stay away from old ways. Let's keep the holy days, and stay away from old ways. Let's keep the holy days, and stay away from old ways. All praises to the Most High. Sure, it's King.
Oh man, what the fuck going on, Scooter?
Soldier Yatham, Siren 2, let's get it. When you bought to a lower state, you must learn to be patient. You come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. Who trust the young was misled and not past generations. No one forsaken, you mistaken if you ain't obeying. No lying on no talebearing. Get thee behind me, Satan. That's my brother, no bloodshed. Get thee behind me, Satan. No idolatry, no adultery. Get thee behind me, Satan. I can't deal with my brother false. Get thee behind me, Satan. Seem like a never end the war between flesh and the spirit. I heard that voice say this the way I pray my loved ones hear it. I'm treating sin like it got cooties, don't wanna get near it. If not pertaining to the Father, I'm sorry, I'm fearless. Won't take a left turn all right when it's a narrow path. You keep the law, you get the kingdom, I can simple math. Boasting your how all day on Hamashiach's behalf. Deny the mark of the beast, so drink from the cup of wrath. Keep your spirit pure, practice on fasting and praying. You a saint, you must multiply your faith and your patience. Love thy neighbor as thyself, don't never betray me. And if you're tempted, pray and say, get thee behind me, Satan. When you bought to a lower state, you must learn to be patient. You come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. Who trust the young was misled and not past generations. No one forsaken, you mistaken if you ain't obeying. No lying on no talebearing. Get thee behind me, Satan. That's my brother, no bloodshed. Get thee behind me, Satan. No idolatry, no adultery. Get thee behind me, Satan. I can't deal with my brother false. Get thee behind me, Satan.
I'ma do it how I love, I got my faculties. In every single precept, make my point to value these. Example, humble me, I'm grounded like what gravel be. We law about in any shirt with fringes, that's my casualty. Revelation say the savior color copper be. Our own, hate your kind, but front them crackers, copper please. Fall balance, abomination to God, so now obviously. Give you fair warning, don't try that angle, that's our size of lead. Off the muscle, not one to just watch it suffer. Don't be respect of persons, anywise rebuke your brother. Prepare myself for tribulations, that which worketh patience. No thinking about being grimy, get thee behind me, Satan. Get thee behind me, Satan.
When you brought to a lower state, you must learn to be patient. You come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. Who trust the young was misled in our past generations. No one forsaken, you mistaken if you ain't obeying. No lying on no talebearing. Get thee behind me, Satan. That's my brother, no bloodshed. Get thee behind me, Satan. No idolatry, no adultery. Get thee behind me, Satan. I can't deal with my brother false. Get thee behind me, Satan.
Danny Mills Productions.
Hey, shalom, shalom, yasha Allah. Let me get my brothers on the screen real quick. Hold on. There we go. Shalom, shalom, yasha Allah. Shar Shabbat. A feast, a happy feast of Hanukkah. Right, we're still in that season. Right. Hey, actually, we got a new moon in 2 days on Monday, I believe, December 30th. Right. Right. So hey, we got a lot of stuff going on this ending out Esau's wicked year, and also we're gonna get y'all see the title of the Bar4Bar, New Year's and its pagan origins. We're gonna dive into this thing, right, precisely, and concisely. You know, to show where the origins of a lot of these things come from, and not just the origin, right? Because some things may have an origin, but the worship that you're actually doing toward these deities when you're making such statement as far as New Year's, the worship that you do to Christmas, the worship of Easter, right? The worship of Valentine's, right? A lot of things have an origin, but it's the worship. That's the idolatrous practice, is the worshiping of the deity. That's the where idolatry comes from, right? Let's get that first in Exodus 20, right? The first commandment of the 10 commandments. Let's get that real quick. Let's start with that. Let's start with that. All right. What did Yahweh say? Read that for me, Nakawasha.
Chapter 20, beginning at verse 1.
Bring it out.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Come on.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
You shall have no other gods before Yahweh. You shall have no other gods before Yahweh, right? That means you cannot worship any other god but Yahweh.
That's right.
Read on.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
You can't make any graven images, right? When you get into New Year's, Christmas, Halloween, right? Easter, right? All these ancient, deep-rooted pagan traditions and customs and origins, they all have what we call a graven image. You can see in the thumbnail the graven image of Janus.
That's right.
Right? The two-faced God, right? The transition God, right? Read on. We're gonna get into it. Read on.
Or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Come on.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
No what?
Nor serve them.
That's the problem. The service of these gods unknowingly. That's what we have done, or America has done in a lot of these ancient pagan traditions, uprooted from the Greco-Roman culture, is they unknowingly, and some knowingly do it, but unknowingly most people serve these gods. When you're talking about Christmas, you're actually presenting a gift to the tree. That's the craziest thing, right? You put the tree up, you make it stand up tall, and then you present the tree as a gift. I mean, you present the gift or present as a sacrifice unto the tree. Most people don't even understand that,
Mm-hmm.
What do they say? They're doing it for the kids.
Yep.
Right. You got during Easter children with bunnies and eggs. Right. Going with the ancient goddess Ishtar. Right. Following that culture. New Year's, what we're gonna go into today. Your New Year's resolution. Right. Putting off the things from behind and walking into the new beginning or new creation. That's the God of Janus we're gonna talk about today. Right, we're gonna break all this down. Right, we're gonna get into these idolatrous practice of this New Year pagan culture, man. Fireworks, ball dropping, all that is just madness. It all represents a Roman god, a Roman pantheon, right? And this is one of the greatest Roman gods. Right, Aharon he's gonna bring it up a little bit later, but just to talk about it briefly, you got the two ancient gods of Rome. The top gods will be Janus and Jupiter, right? And Janus is like the forefront of gods. That's why he's in the first day of the new year, the so-called new year, right? We're gonna dive into that, right? So before we get into that, let's make a few announcements, right? Let's get a few announcements real quick. Still, if you want to join the camp, right, send an email to SOTisraelites@gmail.com, right? To become initiated in the prospect phase, a strict 12-week course, right? That would be, have Zoom calls, Bible studies, right? A lot of different things to be initiated into the organization to try to push the truth through Sons of Thunder, right? So if you want to join the camp, send an email to sonsofthunderisraelites@gmail.com. Also, for our sisters, right, we have the Pillars of Rest.
Welcome to Pillars of Rest, where you can find special material for our sisters, by our sisters. This is a Sons of Thunder exclusive platform focused on building, encouraging, uplifting, and engaging with the daughters of Zion. Here you'll find personalized and interactive content geared towards showing what it truly means to be a pillar of rest. Interviews, scripture breakdowns, tips on motherhood, marriage, and testimonials are just the beginning of the many things to learn from and enjoy in this program.
Right, all praise. So if you want to join the Pillars of Rest, you send an email to the same email, SOTisraelites@gmail.com, right? You send that same email if you want to become a Pillar of Rest, right? And that's the sister group or sister group basically of SOT, right? So we got a lot of sisters doing great works, man, great works in the Pillars of Rest. So definitely stay tuned for that. And if you want to join, right, for the edification, to be that help me of the organization, send an email, right? Also, we still in this mindset, man. It's not the season, it's the mindset, man.
That's right.
Right, get out of that season mentality. You dedicated only for the feast of dedication season, and then you, by the time January, February, March, you ain't dedicated no more, but then you're gonna rededicate. Oh, it's Passover season now. I'm back into man. We're not doing that. Right? We constantly examining ourselves, right, to make sure we're not reprobates, right? We're constantly correcting and fixing ourselves to make sure we're truly walking in the faith, right? So it's not the season, it's the mindset, right? Also, the official outfitter of SOT, the IDC, right? Make sure you go out and get some of that merch. And then we got an excellent commercial coming out soon. Stay tuned for that, right? And then ending the year with the last feast on our calendar is the last new moon, the 10th month. You see at the bottom left, December 30th, and then Lord willing, we should have a new calendar coming in these next couple weeks. So stay tuned for that, a new calendar. Also, make sure you're checking out all our shows, right? Truth Tuesday, C4N, right? Friday class, Bar4Bar, and then the camp videos are always just, right on time, perfect, right? So you can have that, that feeling of being at camp, right? And make sure you're attending the feast, right? Keeping the commandments in the faith and sincerity and truth, right? Being around the brotherhood, man. Don't forsake the assembly, right? don't forsake the assembly, right? So let's dive into this thing. I want to start with this video, right? Because there is so many videos out there of just Edomites and Jakes, really, right? But I want to get it from a news broadcast, CBS New York, right? Of even how to achieve your New Year's resolution, right? So let's get this fair use real quick. Fair use, right? Our copyright disclaimer, right? This is just our thoughts and comments on this information, all information we bring out today, right? And this, right, y'all listen good to this real quick. How many people put out New Year's resolutions, rather, and then don't even fulfill them because it's behind some wicked guy, right? It's really based off some wicked guy that you don't even know you're really serving and worshiping, but you're just doing it because that's the thing to do in America. But you never ask, where did that come from, right? You never ask, where did the New Year's resolution come from, and why do I always do it every single year, and then it fails every single year, right? Let's get into it real quick.
Tomorrow night, Times Square will be at full capacity for the first time since the pandemic as a huge crowd gathers to ring in the new year. And with the new year comes new resolutions. CBS 2's John Diaz joins us now live from Times Square. He has more on the New Year's resolutions some people are planning and experts say we make them. John.
Yeah, good morning to both of you. What I also learned, but I guess this isn't very surprising, is that not many people actually carry out their New Year's resolution. So experts say if you want to be successful in New Year and keep your resolution, keep it simple and specific.
It's the same thing every year. The Times Square ball drops, people ring in the new year. And with that, some try a new resolution.
That's that spirit. That's the spirit of the new beginning, the new creation right here, right? Times Square, biggest New Year's celebration, right? This is that new beginning. It's a new year, new money, new health, new wealth, right? What else they say? New everything, right? Right? New prosperity. The new spirit, right? And it's all going back to this ancient god Janus, and we're going to prove that today through different sources, articles, and websites, right? Well, keep listening.
On each and every day because life is short.
To spend more time with my beautiful granddaughter.
Use less social media next year.
To travel more and just explore more.
To live a happy and healthy life.
Every year, being healthier is consistently the most popular resolution, which includes eating healthier, exercising more, or losing weight. Next is saving money. But chances are most won't complete their resolutions. A survey by one poll found on average, Americans stick to their New Year's resolutions for 32 days.
About a month and 1 day. About a month and 1 day, right? You make this New Year's resolution, basically putting it out there to Janus, right? And then 32 days in, you're done. Nationwide, less than 10% achieve. That's low, right? The New Year's resolution, right? So that's really right, the crutch of this worship of Janus and New Year's is going back to that new beginning and new creation. So let's go into this just from a Wikipedia source really quick.
Oh, hold on, Salaki, real quick.
Go ahead.
Man, because what people don't realize is that when you create a New Year's resolution, you're actually leaning and invoking the god Janus and asking for his help. You're asking for his help to assist you with this. And it's crazy that Howard said, listen, it's the same every year. We got experts on this, which means that it's a big practice that is taken seriously. It's basically become tradition. Give me the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 16. We're going to come back to this chapter, but just for right now, just this one verse.
God, I'm already there, Adawan.
Man.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, now at verse 16. Thus, in the process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law.
Because, hold on, Salaki, because for a lot of people, we've been doing this our entire lives. Hell, people will literally wait to, they'll know months ahead of time of something that they need to change in their life. They'll know way before time something that they need to either implement or extract from their life because it is critical to not only their progress, but as you saw, their health, their emotional or mental well-being. But they'll literally wait until this tradition has come. They'll wait until they got Janus's help, because that's what they've been doing over time. That's why, and listen, to combat that, that's why the scriptures say, look, give me that. We rehearse the righteous acts.
That's right.
That's why it's important for us to rehearse that, so we can get more hours in being righteous than we had being wicked, right? All right, finish that out. Go again.
Thus, in the process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law.
And see, and this is that same thing that Yahushua was talking about. Said, bro, full well will you reject the commandments of the Lord to keep the tradition of men.
That's right.
You know, because shoot, think about how you're received by maybe friends and family that have practiced these same customs with you before, how they respond to you putting those customs down and picking up of those of the Lord. How did it go this year? When you say no more Christmas, this is Hanukkah. Especially, look, hey, that dedication was so close to that Christmas. Oh man, you see, you just still doing Christmas, but you just kind of twist it. Especially who those who keep the tradition of giving gifts during every day of Hanukkah, because there's some that do, some that don't. But if you were giving gifts on Hanukkah, oh man, you got accused of wickedness, right? But that's interesting, right? You got that, Nassim?
Cardinal one. It's the book of
Judges. All right, give me that, and then we gonna finish this verse out.
Cardinal one. It's the book of Judges, chapter 5 and verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts.
No, go ahead, finish it up.
Cardinal one. Even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel.
Okay, that's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do, is rehearse these righteous acts and get this time in and learning how do we worship the Lord? How do we keep the Passover? How do we celebrate the Feast of Dedication? You know what? We're going to get better next year. Because I tell you, on the left-hand side, when it comes to Christmas and all the other stuff, you spend months planning how and what you're going to do for Christmas, how you're going to celebrate Christmas. You're already thinking about how you're going to do it better next year.
Yeah,
you rehearsing in your mind how you gonna rehearse wicked acts next year, because like it says in Wisdom of Solomon, this custom is so strong it's kept as a law. You'll go broke behind it. You will literally make so many sacrifices to keep this that it puts you in a bind. You know, but that's why we got to rehearse the righteous acts. Give me little sanctuaries. There, be in little sanctuary. I think that's in Zechariah. Now, finish this out in the Kabbalah.
Another one. And graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
So, okay, yeah. So you see, it's Ezekiel 11:16, Nassim. But you see, all the way down from the youngest to the kings. That's what we do. We celebrate this wickedness. Hell, your job will give you off this day. Ask for the new moon off every month. Ask for a whole week off for Passover. Hell, just ask for the Sabbath off.
They got a problem.
That's right.
It's a problem. Hey, listen. People, you will almost get fired. People will fight, Jake, and you know you're guilty of this. You won't fight your boss to have your day, have your Sabbath off, but you will gladly and willingly take off the first of the year. She'll gladly and willingly, hey, I'll take off Christmas. I'll take them days. I know I can't get the Sabbath, but Jake got to get a break. Shoot, Salakia, do you offer, say, listen, I work every so-called holiday. I take the whole I work a double shift. Give me the Sabbath off, though. Give me the Sabbath off, and don't worry, them days when it's slow, when everybody else trying to be out, I work a whole double shift. Give me that in Ezekiel, and I'm done.
Card 1. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 11, and verse 16. Therefore say, thus saith the Lord God, although I have cast them far among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
You see, the Lord has set up small little sanctuaries, although we be over here, for us to rehearse the righteous acts. So we got no excuse. So let's just say if you watching this and you say, listen, I want to celebrate, I don't know, but I'm by myself, find a camp near you. Find or you know what? Hey, listen, and you don't know of a camp near you. You sign up to Patreon, you can attend our classes. There's plenty of things that you can do and study, and do not forsake having that little sanctuary, because it's very important. That's what the Lord has said, because you cannot get caught out there practicing these things. All right, I yield. More gonna come out later, but yeah, that's the point. Matter of fact, and give me back in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. Give me verse 27. Why is so important? Why is so important?
It's the
laughing. The brother was here. Go ahead.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 28.
Bring it out.
Salakia, verse 27. For the worshiping of idols, not to be named, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil.
That's why it's so important not to get caught up in practicing these idols and get caught up practicing these traditions. It's the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. That's why it's the first commandment.
Right.
The Lord is not playing about this. It's not something that you get caught slipping on. Hey, even look, tabernacles, go outside in a tent. You in a park, you apartment, go on the balcony. Do whatever you gotta do. Don't let anything stop you from worshiping the Lord and his feast and running away as quick as you can from the idols and their feasts. It's very important. All right, I'll yield.
Hey, let's keep reading on that. Let's establish this point, because that Wisdom of Solomon is the perfect chapter. Keep reading on that.
Verse 28. For either they are mad when they be merry, or prophesy lies, or live unjustly, or else lightly forswear themselves. For in so much as their trust is in idols, which have no life, though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt.
That's right. And that's key too, because it said the idols which have no life. That's why Paul can say that, like, idols are nothing. Like, you in your mind, that's the teaching of Paul. You in your mind have made the idol real once you believe you ate towards it. You made it real in your mind. But the idol is not real. That's why you can eat. Because it has no life. I eat and serve Yahweh. If you eat and serve the idol, you made the idol real. Now you're going off.
Yeah.
Right? Read on that.
Verse 29. For in so much as their trust is in idols, which have no life, though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. Howbeit, for both causes shall they be justly punished.
Right, for both causes they shall be justly punished for serving and worshiping these idols. And America has us in that trap. Consistently and constantly worshiping idols. Half the time don't even know it.
That's right.
Most of the time don't even care. You tell people this, okay, I'm gonna still celebrate Christmas. I don't care. Right, read on.
Both because they thought not well of God, giving heed unto idols, and also unjustly swore in deceit, despising holiness.
Right, and that's the thing. That's the serving or the worshiping of the idol. That's the problem.
That's right.
You can recognize this is an idol. Once you make up in your mind you about to serve it, you're going off.
That's right.
You going off. Right, you going the hell off, man. Right, read on.
Another one. For it is not the power of them by whom they swear, but it is the just vengeance of sinners that punisheth always the offense of the ungodly.
And that's Yahweh, man. That's why we got to bring these things to your attention, whether it's you. But last year we did the Christmas, right? We didn't really go into the New Year's. This is where we decided we got to go into the New Year's, because we got to bring this thing to our people's attention and show like, yeah, I like New Year's, but I might have to refrain from that. You know, the New Year's resolution and all that, right? I might have to refrain from that. It's just one day, right? Christmas, for the kid, not for the kids no more, man. We gonna do Feast of Dedication. Matter of fact, Purim is actually 2 days. We'll do Purim for 2 days. We'll decorate, put the lights up in the crib. 2 days we'll do Purim. We'll give gifts on both days, right? It blows my mind. I was having a conversation with this Eve at my job, and it blows my mind. I asked her, why is it that in Christianity you practice every holiday that America gives you and none that God gives you?
Right.
It makes no sense. And then guess what their answer is? Well, that's the Old Testament. That's like what? That's the Old Testament. But you're following America's way. All right. So let's get into this Wikipedia resource real quick. Right. Just because it was straightforward, and obviously, if we need the sources from it, you know, we can get the sources obviously from our Wikipedia. They have all their sources linked at the bottom. All right. So let's read some of this. Right. Janus. Right. The cop shot, can you see that? Make it a little bit bigger. That might be too big.
No, that was good. That was perfect.
Let's start over here, right? Let's start over here. Right.
Janus, God of all beginnings, gates, transitions, times, choices, duality, doorways, passages, and endings.
Ain't no way. That's Yahweh.
That's right.
Yahweh is, let's get it. Get the scripture. I'm the beginning and the end in Isaiah. Get that. Right? This is Yahweh's title. These people have created a two-headed God, right? One looking backwards, one looking forward, and called this Janus the God of all beginnings, gates, transitions, time, choices, duality, doorways, passages, and endings. No. There's only one God that represents beginning and ending. All that other stuff is for the birds. Right? Read that.
You want one in Isaiah, but not Revelation?
Oh, you get in Revelation, whichever one.
All right.
I wanted an Isaiah, actually. I wanted an Isaiah.
All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 44 and verse 6, right? Yeah. All right, so let me get there. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 44 and verse 6. Thus said the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. I am the first, and I am the last.
Right.
And besides me, there is no God.
So there is no God besides Yahweh. Right? Even Isaiah 46 and 10.
Verse 10.
46 and 10. The water.
Oh, so like
I am the first and the last. Ain't no Janus beginning and end. Time and duality. No. Transit. We ain't dealing with that. Right? But this is what that Greco-Roman society, or what America follows through the Greco-Roman society.
Right.
And they push these things and you will never know unless you just do an easy Google search. Right? Read that for me, out.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 46 and verse 10. Declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure.
Right? So Yahweh creates all things that are in the beginnings and end. What did he say? I kill and make alive. Right? He's the start of everything.
Right.
Right? Not this Greco-Roman god, or actually a Roman god, Janus, man. Right? And then you could see other names, right? Janus father, Janus four-faced, two-faced Janus, right?
And yeah, if you look at the Pater, he's called the father of the gods.
Yeah. That's right. He's the father of the gods. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into this thing, right? Let's just read some of this really quick.
In ancient Roman religion and myth, Janus is the god of beginnings, gates, transitions, time, duality, doorways, passages, frames, and endings. He is usually depicted as having two faces. The month of January is named for Janus. According to ancient Roman farmers' almanacs, Juno was mistaken as a tutelary deity of the month of January, but Juno is a tutelary deity of the month of June.
Right, so you got a deity for June and for January, right? And that is heavy. I'm gonna tell you why that's heavy, chat. Why this is so heavy going into this month of January, right? Because when does the first month start, and what season and what time frame according to the Gregorian calendar, right? What season and what time frame? Watch this. I'm gonna show y'all something. That's for the chat. When does the month really begin? Right? Or the year, Salaki. When does the year really begin? Right? Yatham said it right? The spring. Right? But Esau has it for the winter, right? Esau has it in the winter. Right? But the year really begins in the spring, right? From March to April. But the Gregorian calendar has it dead in the winter. Now let's look at some Roman history. Right, sis? So that's right, sis. Supposed to be in the spring. Oh, actually, this is a comment I want to address really quick. A sidebar. Sister asked the question, do you have to be in Atlanta to be in Pillars of Rest? No, you don't, sis. You can join right from where you are, sis. Right. We got sisters all across America. At least, right? So it's supposed to be in the spring. Now I want to go to this source really quick. A lot of people didn't know this. Right? Let's read this out.
Mauritius or Mensis Mauritius or March was the first month of the ancient Roman year until possibly as late as 153 BC.
So even the Romans knew that the month or the year really started in what? March. Coming into the spring season. Even the ancient Romans knew that. Until what? 153 BC, right? Going into Julius Caesar and some of these new calendars. Right? But even they had it that way. That's why. So now when you look at the months that we have now, it all makes sense. Right? The sister just said it. Right? December is also the 10th month. So even then, March with spring is the first month. That's right.
And Salakia.
Go ahead, King.
If you even just look at the name of the months, I mean, in its Latin origins, because we know English is a makeup of what is it? Latin, Spanish, and one other word. I mean, one other language. But September even has sept,
yeah,
which means 7. October, oct meaning 8, like octagon is the 8th. November, Nove, is the 9th. December, like decimal, 10. It's the 10th month. You know, you don't even have to get too deep to see this, you know?
Yes, right in your face. And then if you just count backwards, you'll see, oh, it had to start in March. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. It was obvious. But to worship this God who? Janus, the beginning of all things, the transition into the new thing. You get January.
Yep, because they did it right after the equinox.
Yes.
They did it right after the equinox. When you go and understanding the equinox, that's how a lot of calendar system, or that's how it's a good way to tell the date or the time of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even us, like we celebrate, you know, the new moon or New Year's is right after the spring equinox, the moon after the spring equinox. Well, they say, you know what? Right after the fall equinox, right after that is when we're going to have our new year.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's why you had that. That's why they had to change it. Because somebody say, well, why there? Why not after September? Or why not after another month? It's because they understand and they're following on the other equinox on the left-hand side. Right after that fall equinox, they're going to start their new year, and they name it after Janus.
They get that script. See, I'm gonna have to send Yatim the link, man. He on point, man. Y'all been on a point for the last couple of weeks. I have to send Yatim the link, man.
Hey, man.
Bring that out for Yatim right quick. Send out the link, man. Right? Because that's the right scripture. Let's bring that out. Right. Daniel 7:25, man.
I'm the other one.
The
book of Daniel, chapter 7, and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws.
And we always hit that times and laws, but the wear out the saints is heavy.
Yeah.
They're wearing out the saints with the customs and traditions of these gods. Of the Greek and Roman culture. That's how they're wearing us out. But they're wearing us out because we know, but our people are in love with it. They are so ready for New Year's.
That's right.
They are so ready. They were so ready for Christmas. I couldn't stand the whole month of December. I could not stand it. And I worked Christmas night. At midnight. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. And I'm telling people, like the people I know I'm kind of cool. I tell them straight up, yo, you know, bro, I don't do all that. Northern Kingdom system, like, yo, sis, I don't vibe with the Merry, I don't vibe with the Christmas. So she made sure to tell me 10 times. Just because she knows
the Christmas spirit.
Just because I'm like, yo, sis, I don't vibe with it now. I kind of told her the origin, like, oh yeah, whatever. 10 times in one night. Merry Christmas. Every time she saw me, Merry Christmas, James. Merry Christmas, James. He's just throwing it out there. Right? All day. To the point it's like, you in your mind, you're just like, bro, you don't even want to talk to nobody that day because it's like, I don't even know what, have a good day. You're trying to find new ways to say something without, saying Merry. All right, just have a blessed day. Hey, half the time, yo, happy Hanukkah, man. Happy Hanukkah. That's what it really is. Happy Hanukkah. Right? Because it's just, they want you to do it so bad, and the candy canes and the trees everywhere and the Christmas, it's just taxing. Right? It's taxing on the mind. It's really annoying. I was so happy on December 26th when it was over with. But then you can't even finish it, right? Because the people that you didn't see on Christmas, they want to ask you, how was your Christmas? How was happy belated Christmas? They already shooting fireworks. New Year's ain't even hit yet when they start doing that. They were shooting fireworks Christmas day after Christmas, and the next day they already got their fireworks going. Right? They've been popping fireworks in Fort Myers from Christmas till today, every night. It's going down.
Oh, it's about to get stupid for New Year's.
All right, it don't make no sense, but it's that season, right? Holiday season. You know the right on a mixtape, right?
Yeah.
But that's the spirit of all of this, Janus. That new beginning, that coming out of. Look how it started. We're thankful. Slaughtered the Native Americans, took their land. Then we're gonna celebrate Saturnalia. Then we got new beginnings, new creation. Put the past behind you of that year. Let's worship and have a New Year's resolution, Janus. How it's set up. And you didn't think of once to celebrate one of God's. Matter of fact, the Sabbath done away with. Don't need to do that no more. New moon, the hell with that. We don't even know that exists. Christians do not know a new moon exists. You got a holiday every month in the Lord. Right? Passover, that's Easter now. First fruit, don't care about that. Tabernacles, will never. Day of Atonement, we don't do that. Purim, what is that? Nicanor, never heard of it. Day of Simeon, who is that? They do not care about what the Lord prescribed. Blowing of a trumpet, what is a trumpet?
Hey, Salaki, you know what's crazy to me?
Go ahead.
Jacob pick up Kwanzaa.
Yeah, they got Kwanzaa with the menorah. Kwanzaa got the menorah.
Yeah, Jacob said, you know what? I that one tradition I will add. It won't be my own, but I'll pick up Kwanzaa, which was made. This is recent.
Yeah.
Some Judite brothers made Kwanzaa.
I was one of them, Jake. I found out this before the truth. I found out Christmas is off. I told my pops, hey, we gotta do Kwanzaa this year. Then we went and bought a menorah and everything, man.
Good.
Just trying to get away from it.
Red, black, is red. What is it? Red, black, and green.
Yeah, red, black, and green, man. Got the Kwanzaa nod, man. But Kwanzaa is really trying to do dedication for it. They trying, but they just ain't all the way there. They gotta come all the way because we wanted our own thing. Yo, that's my pops right there. He said, I was wicked for that. I was like, yo, we gotta do the Kwanzaa this year. That, right? But yeah, man, that's what it goes back to. Is look, he talking about I knew it. Like I know he had it too. I know, yo, Asha'Allah is pro-black, and I know he was doing Kwanzaa too. Don't let him fool you. Right, y'all stop lying.
I saw that brother on Sonetta before.
Y'all, look, I was going to ask about Kwanzaa, the spinoff of dedication. It's kind of like a spinoff. It's like pro-black. We separated from Christmas. This is our own thing kind of deal. But they got the menorah. They got to come all the way over and do feast of dedication. Okay. Right? Kwanzaa is basically, it's kind of like feast of dedication, but they light the candle each day, and each candle represents something.
So
and
basically,
it's kind of African guys, right?
It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was made by this Judite brother who was saying, you know what, to hell with Christmas, let's go back to our more our West African traditions. And through the search that, because we are the Israelites and we still did have some customs in West Africa, him trying to look at what we did, he found what he interpreted as Kwanzaa. And so he brought that over and said, oh, this is what we used to do in Africa. And really, these were Israelites continuing the traditions of the dedication. So that's why it's so similar.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, sis said, sis be sharing. Hey, sis be having a heat, man. If you ain't following sis on, sis be having a heat on
right there.
Sis could not be having a heat on her Instagram, exposing, through different posts, the wickedness, man. She said she posted that, hey, ain't no Black Christmas, man.
Says, where your bike at? She be having the little meme with the bike.
God. Right. The dreidel was basically that's Jewish custom.
The dreidel is it's a little game that they play. It's like a spinning top game, and that's why on 4 parts of the top it has a different letter or whatever. And basically, if if you land on one, you get all of the candy. If you land on another, you got to share. If another one you lose, it's basically like shooting dice, basically. For y'all who understand that type of thing.
It's a Jewish game, man. Right? It's Talmudic custom. I believe, yeah. I'm pretty sure it is in the Talmud, the dreidel. Right? They said, hey, the Kwanzaa is the step in the right direction, but the answers are in the Bible. That's right. The answers are in the Bible. Right. So let's continue to read on this Janus before we go over to this other article really quick. Because we're gonna compare. I think Aharon is kind of froze up here. But Aharon really gonna dive into it, the comparison of even Janus and Jupiter, right? Because these are their two gods, right? You got Janus is who they would basically summon before everything, and then you got Jupiter, which is also their main god. Like two, they interact. So they usually would summon Janus and then summon Jupiter, right? As in their religious practice, right? We're gonna read some of that. So let's read that next paragraph.
Janus presided over the beginning and ending of conflict, and hence war and peace. The gates of a building in Rome named after him, not a temple as it is often called, but an open enclosure with gates at each end, were opened in time of war and closed to mark the arrival of peace.
Right. And you can tell like they probably stole a lot of this from our ancient practice, because beginning and ends, you know, the scriptures say the Most High is a man of war, right? It all sounds too similar, right? And that's how it was probably easy for the Israelites to assimilate into a lot of this stuff, man. Right? It was probably so easy because it sounded too similar, but it's just straight madness. Right, and then when you look at the ancient Roman history, it does say that they had two gates, and when there was no war, the gates was closed. But when there was war, they would open the gates, and that's when Janus would come out and help fight the wars. Right? But doesn't the scripture say Yahweh will fight for you, man? Right? A two-faced person's face is not good. That's right. That's a two-faced God.
Yeah.
And then you got the Trinity, a three-person God. It don't make no sense. Let's keep going on.
As a god transitions, he had functions pertaining to birth and to journeys and exchange. And in his association with Portunus, a similar harbor and gateway god, he was concerned with traveling, trading, and shipping. Janus had no flaming or specialized priests assigned to him, but the king of sacred rites himself carried out his ceremonies. Janus had a ubiquitous presence in the religious ceremonies throughout the year. As such, Janus was ritually invoked at the beginning of each ceremony, regardless of the main deity honored on any particular occasion.
So Janus was always summoned. No matter what god was there to be summoned or was for that practice, whether it was for harvest or fortune or money, Janus was usually the main one or the first one summoned in the religious sense, right? Because he's the god, so-called god of the beginning and end, time and transition. Now, let's get a little bit more of this.
Yeah, Salakia. That's why he's called the father of the gods, because listen, he was the author and finisher of their faith. And who is the author and finisher of our faith? Hebrews 12:2.
Bring it out. That's right.
You know, and think about it. The same way they do all things kind of in the name of Janus, because he's the one who started, he's the one who ends it. He has life, he has death, he's the God of pathways and everything, right? Give me that, yeah.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 2. Looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith,
Now think about it. So we know that Yahweh is the author and the finisher of our faith. The author and finisher of the faith of, now mind you, it said this was any deity, pagan deity that they were worshiping, they would start that ceremony, the practicing of their faith, and end it with this god Janus. This is no measly idol that Jakes is playing with. This is very, very, very big. You know, and which is why you got to look at how, listen, Satan make it easy. He make it easy for you to go off. He'll do parallels. He'll literally play in your face. He'll have parallel customs and parallel things, so there's just enough to where it sounds kind of familiar. I can get with that. It's not too far off from you know what I do and what I believe. And he'll have you doing something that you think is right when it's absolutely wrong, man. Because so like I said, so finish that out, Hebrews 2 and 12 and 2, and I'm good.
Comment 1. Looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God.
All right, go ahead.
Well, excellent precepts. I want to read a little bit of this and then switch to another article. Where was I at? Right here, the God of change. I want to read this part right here, the God of change.
Count that one. Janus frequently symbolized change and transition, such as the progress of past to future, from one condition to another, from one vision to another, and young people's growth to adulthood. He represented time because he could see into the past with one face and into the future with the other. Hence, Janus was worshipped at the beginning of the harvest and planting times, as well as at marriages, deaths, and other beginnings. He represented the middle ground between the barbarianism and civilization, rural and urban space, youth and adulthood. Having jurisdiction over beginnings, Janus had an intrinsic association with omens and auspices.
All right, let's get Jeremiah 2:11 real quick, because this is what has happened, right? Jeremiah 2:11.
And this even points back to that Isaiah 46 and 10, declaring the end from the beginning.
Yeah. Right, I said the middle ground between barbarianism and civilization, man. What is that? Youth and adulthood, right? This is what this God actually represents. And then the entire name of January is from Janus. The entire name, right? So let's read that real quick. Jeremiah 2:11.
Comment 1. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 11. Hath a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods?
Read.
But my people have changed their glory for that which doeth not profit.
Right, we have changed our glory into that which does not profit. There was no profit in these said holidays, folly days. Really, there was no profit in following these holidays that America has put in place, right? Because it's really changing your God into a God, changing Yahweh into these gods that do not exist. Right? We worship everything under the sun but Yahweh. And he told you one way to worship him. Keep the commandments. That was the only way to keep the commandments. Have faith in my son. 2 ways. But we got to do it every other way. We got to find a new way. Right, read on that. Read the 13.
Comment 1. For my people have committed 2 evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
So number 1, we've read that part again. Read it again.
For my people have committed 2 evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters.
So one evil, we've forsaken Yahweh. Right? The scriptures say When you read the Psalms, it said we didn't want none of him. Proverbs as well. We didn't want nothing to do with Yahweh. We forsaken him by following these traditions of men. Read.
And hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
And now we've hewn out broken cisterns, right? A broken pot, you pour water into it, the water just spills out on the floor. Meaning these gods are useless. You worship them in vanity. Right? Go to stay in Jeremiah, go to 13 and 23.
Counter one. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 13 and verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
Can the Ethiopian change his skin?
Come on.
Or the leopard his spots?
Mm-hmm.
Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil.
Right? So we could do good, but hey, can the Ethiopian change his spots? I mean, change his skin, right? Can a leopard have no spots? Of course not, right? Leopard got spots. Ethiopian is known as a dark-skinned man. Right? But we are so accustomed to evil. Can we change? Right. That's why you read Jeremiah 17. Jeremiah is really cut. When you read what they call Jeremiah the weeping or the crying prophet, right? When you read Jeremiah, he is really cutting it, bro. He is cutting Israel to shreds. That's a good prophet. You haven't Ethiopian spots. If you haven't started reading some of the prophets, you haven't really taken a dive into the prophets, Jeremiah is a good place to start because he is cutting to shred these heathens. Right? Let's read that. Right, my brother Mayer got a good precept. Read that on the screen. I seen.
Counter one. This is Psalm 96 and 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols.
But
Yahweh made the heavens.
But Yahweh made the heavens. It's not no Janus, man. That God does not exist. Right? It's made up in the Greco-Roman mind.
Right.
And now Esau doesn't have you worshiping it, right, in its forefront, like you're worshiping Janus, but he has you following out his traditions with his New Year's, with your New Year's resolutions, right? With your new beginnings. New year, what they say? The sisters used to say this in the chat. New year, new me. Yeah, that was y'all. Nakawa Shah said that thousands of times. Right? That was y'all. New year, new me spirit. It's going off, man.
Hey, and Salakia, one thing to realize, because that's why the Lord said, listen, you, Israel, you only have I known until you are the gifts and the curses, until you are the oracles. These other nations, they literally did not have the Lord. So they had, give me Wisdom of Solomon 13, and we're going to start at verse 1. Right? So that's why they had to come up with all this BS. We have a real God. So that's why it's like, the Lord is like, what are you doing dealing with worshiping my creation? What are you doing worshiping this BS when I'm here for you? Right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, beginning at verse 1. Surely vain are all men by nature, who are so ignorant of God.
That's a cut.
Who could not out of the good things that are seen know him that is.
So you see, listen, they because they're ignorant, they don't even understand the Lord. They seen the things that are, they seeing nature, and they still don't know that this the Father is the author. That Father revealed himself to us and let us know, hey, I'm the one who did all this. In general, through my son Yahweh Shai, obviously, but all of this comes from me, right? Keep going.
Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the work master.
You see? So, because that's how they are worshiping. When you look at a lot of this pagan stuff, they're worshiping these calendars, these days, these stars, the god of the wind, the god of the water, the god of all of these things of nature, because they don't have the Heavenly Father the way we do. So how silly do we look following their stuff when we got the real thing? You understand? Keep going. Verse 2 is the point.
But deemed either fire or wind, or swift air, or the circle of stars, or the violent water, or the lights of heaven, to be the gods which govern the world.
They make gods out of this BS. They make gods out of the elements of the earth and don't even consider that the Lord is the one who made it. When that Lord who made it is our God. So how stupid do we look, honestly? How foolish do we look looking towards a Janus who was basically something that they made to say, you know what? Okay, after the equinox is this, okay, the calendar says that it got to be something to, you know what I mean? They literally have made it up and not looking at the Father. But we have that, right? Verse 3.
With whose beauty, if they be delighted to Salakia, with whose beauty, if they be delighted, took them to be gods. Let them know how much better the Lord of them is.
You see,
For
the
first,
Lord that created this is so much better than that. We're going to read the 4 and we off of it.
Bring it out.
For the first author of beauty hath created them.
And see, because the Lord, he's like, I'm the author of beauty. Listen, that's why he says, listen, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. You can't even imagine what the Lord has in store for you. You think this is lit. Man, you have no idea what the Lord has in store for those that follow him and endure to the end. That's why I said my Father has many mansions, okay? That's why, as Israelites, we always talk about the kingdom, because we understand that, hey, it's much better. If the Lord can make something as beautiful as the Amazon rainforest, something as beautiful as Eve, because, boy, imagine what he got in store in the kingdom. You understand? Verse 4, and I'm done.
But if they were astonished at their power and virtue, let them understand by them how much mightier he is that made them.
That's right.
You understand? And that's what we're talking about. We worshiping a Lord that is much mightier than everything else that is made. And we cannot get caught up in the twist worshiping that creation more than the creator. Now, I know it's a bunch of verses that's like, oh, yes, a verse for that, Jeremiah 10, blah, blah, blah. And we can get that.
I'm already here. We gotta get that. I'm back,
right.
Jeremiah. We gotta read that. I don't want to
Go
start
ahead.
with the usual. I'm gonna start. Let's start at verse 11. The Kawashah. Jeremiah 10 and 11. This channel is messianic, meaning we believe in Christ. We believe in the Yahushua, but we do not believe in said Trinity or things like that. Let's read that.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, beginning at verse 10.
Bring it out.
But Yahweh is the true power. He is the living God.
Read.
And the everlasting King.
Mm-hmm.
At his wrath, the earth shall tremble.
Come on.
And the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation.
They won't be able to stand in his anger, man. Read.
Thus shall ye say unto them, the gods that have not made the heavens and the earth, even they shall perish from the earth.
Janus gotta go. Jupiter gotta go. Mercury, Venus. What's the other guys? What's Cyrus? Osiris, Diana gotta go. Right? What's some new guys? Some of these new guys that they got nowadays, they got to go.
Look, Instagram.
Got to
see,
go.
I ain't ready for that.
Yeah, some people have made Instagram their God.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have idolized it. Right? The American dollar got to go. Right? Read on that.
And from under these heavens, he hath made the earth by his power.
Mm-hmm.
He hath established the world by his wisdom.
Read.
And have stretched out the heavens by his discretion.
Right.
When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in heavens.
Mm-hmm.
And he causes the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth.
It's heavy. That's what Aharon was talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Made rain for. Come on, man. You want to worship Janus? That's no God. Read.
He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Every man is brutish in his knowledge.
Said every man is brutish, and they're gods too. Read.
Every founder is confounded by the graven image.
And every founder is confounded by the graven image. Read.
For his molten image is falsehood.
It's a lie. It's a complete lie. There's no truth in it. That's why that's why Paul has that authority. Idols are nothing. Eat that. Who cares if that was sacrificed to an idol? Is Paul trying to teach you to sin, or is Paul trying to teach you the reason you can eat it, bro? Because the idol don't exist. The only reason the idol exists is because you made it real in your mind and you want to worship it.
Salakia.
Go ahead, King.
Can we double down on that point? Let's go to the book of Baruch, chapter 6.
Bring it out.
And let's start at verse 12.
Card 1. It's the book of Baruch, chapter 6, beginning at verse 12.
Baruch is putting the dagger in when it comes to the knowledge of what an idol actually is. And he's bringing you the reality straight to your face. Go ahead and read that.
Hey, Salaki, real quick. Somebody put in the chat, who is Baruch?
That's right.
What significance does he have? Because keep going. Just keep going.
Card 1. This is Baruch chapter 6 and verse 12. Yet cannot these gods save themselves from rust and moths.
So here you have men who have created idols, set them up for the people to worship, and you got people that are crying, bringing flowers and gifts to an idol, putting food down for a idol that can't even prevent himself from rusting. Can't even prevent moths from just taking over his face. Keep reading.
Card 1. Though they be covered with purple raiment, they wipe their faces because of the dust of the temple.
That's heavy.
So it's so dirty in the temple of these fake gods. Their priests got to come and wipe the dust off of their face. They can't do it themselves.
Yeah, let me clean the idol. Let me clean the figurine because it's dirty. But this is supposed to be an all-seeing, all-powerful God.
The one I'm submitting to, I got to clean his face.
Yes.
Keep reading.
Card 1. When there is much upon them, and he cannot put to death one that offendeth him, one that offendeth him holdeth the scepter, as though he were a judge of the country.
So though a man come and desecrate this idol, that idol can't put him to death. He can't defend himself. It don't matter how he's created. It don't matter how that idol is formed. Read the next verse.
Card 1. He hath also in his right hand a dagger and an axe.
So he prepared for battle, but can't do no battle.
God.
You got men cursing him out.
Yeah.
You got birds pooping on him, dogs pissing on his legs, and yet he can't shoo none of them away. He can't take that axe and go to war.
God.
Man, the book, look, this is from the epistle of Jeremiah, and Baruch is recanting this account, but he's putting it right in your face. And yet you got, man, what's that big statue? You got that big statue in Brazil that thousands of people come to and worship.
Yeah.
And yet that statue can't do nothing for them.
Yes.
People sitting there saying statues are weeping and crying blood. Man, this ain't nothing but a gimmick. These idols are nothing. But yet you got people year in, year out. And this goes on to your point, Adawan. You got people that say New year, new me. But don't realize, man, what you doing. You trying to turn over an old leaf. Man, keep working on that same leaf. Get the book of Sirach, chapter 4 and 28.
Hey, when y'all get a chance, y'all gotta read that Baruch.
That's right.
Chapter Baruch. I think this is actually Jeremiah. Well, actually, what Jeremiah said is Baruch is scribing it, really.
That's right.
But he is cut. This whole chapter is cutting every. It even goes deep. It even goes deep as talk about how they. Oh my God, y'all gotta read. I ain't gonna spoil it. Y'all gotta
That's
read.
Right, man.
That's it.
Go ahead and read that Sirach 4 and 28. And if one of the other ones can get Deuteronomy 20 and 4.
Carter 1. This is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiastes, chapter 4 and verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death,
right,
and the Lord shall fight for thee.
So that you trying to turn over a new leaf, but you're not striving for the truth. Man, the Most High knows what you need. He knows what you fighting. He know what you're struggling. You sitting here and you trying to turn over a new leaf without putting the Most High first. Man, it's you're never gonna accomplish it. Even Esau said it in the video. Those New Year's resolutions, and they never come to fruition.
32 days, that's all you got.
30, you sit there trying to lose weight. You go to the gym for 4 weeks and you out. You done.
Yeah.
You back eating ice cream and candy, packing the pounds back on. Why? Because you're not putting the Most High first. You're not striving for the truth.
Yeah.
Strive for the truth unto death. Do that first. And the Most High, man, the Most High got a way of working everything out in your life in this set time and order. Go ahead and read that in the book of Deuteronomy 20 and 4. And another brother get Baruch 4 and 28.
This book of Deuteronomy chapter 20 verse 4. For Yahweh your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you.
So the Most High, he's moving with you. He's working with you. If you strive for the truth, and you got sisters who make proclamations. I'ma stop sleeping with all these men this year. And you gotta remember, you making a vow before the Most High.
God,
Lord, if you get me out of this, man, New Year, I ain't getting involved in that no more. You making a vow before the Most High, and the scripture tells you defer not to pay.
Yeah.
The Most High, man, he gonna hold you to that vow. But if you strive for the truth, man, work on self and being right with the Most High, and stop following after these customs that are taking you further and further away from the Most High. Get Deuteronomy 18. And these are some of the things that the Most High told us not to do when we came in the land. Why? Because the people were already doing it.
Yep.
They were already observing times. They were already doing these type of celebrations and nonsense and following idols. The book of Wisdom of Solomon in chapter 14, verse 12 tells you the devising of idols is the beginning of spiritual fornication. And it's the corruption of life.
That's right.
That's the corruption. Man, the moment that a man takes in his thought to devise an idol, man, you corrupting the lives of the people.
That's it. Every time.
You corrupting it. Go ahead, read that. Go ahead, Adawan.
No, I was saying that's why the idol is so powerful. You got white Jesus that's corrupting the people.
That's right.
You got Buddha corrupting the people. Right? You got Muhammad, right? And Allah corrupting the people. Millions of people. You hear me? Millions of people follow these idols.
Yeah.
Right? What you want to do, Deuteronomy 18, King?
Give me verse 9.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 9. When thou art come into the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abomination of those nations.
So there was a custom that was already being done in the land before you got there. And he's telling you, don't learn it.
Yeah.
Don't get involved with it at all. Keep reading that one.
John, verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that uses divination, or an observer of times, or
y'all looking, y'all in the paper, man. Back in the Washington Post, man, people was flipping to the horoscope section.
Oh yeah.
And let me see what Pisces say today. Let me see what the Taurus say today. You got people going to see psychics.
Yeah,
man, all this stuff was already in the land.
Yeah,
and he's telling you, don't learn it.
Yeah,
don't get involved in it. They're already observing the times. But I've already given you what you are supposed to observe. But in the book of Psalms tell you that y'all didn't want none of me. Y'all ain't want to have nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So you fell into these ungodly customs.
Yeah, Charlotte talking about what's your sign. Hey, that's how they are. Hey, when's your birthday? Or you a Leo or Pisces or Capricorn? Cancer? Yeah, you this kind of person. You that kind of person. Y'all two need to be together because of this. What?
God.
Right. Hey, and then Eve will have a good dude who cares about her, wants to be with her, wants to treat her right, wants to, you know what I mean, give his expression of a righteous relationship. And she won't go because, oh no, you a water sign. Or you a Taurus. You know, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then 10 years later, after she been ran through, she complained about where the good men at. Where this at?
That's
like,
right.
Man, y'all going off.
You making life decisions off of astrology.
Off of astrology.
Crazy. That you have not studied. Like you don't even know where it comes from.
Man, it's like that old movie, The Last Dragon. You know, Bruce Leroy wanted to go to see the master. And here he go to the Chinese warehouse, and the master is a computer making fortunes for fortune cookies. And this is what was going on in the Washington Post when y'all looking at astrology. It's crazy. It's crazy. You making life choices off of some thought process that a computer generated.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's funny. Now we ain't gotta necessarily read the account, but y'all, a good funny account of this is in the book of 1 Kings chapter 18, when the prophets of Baal tried to go against Elijah. He like, all right, yeah, we're gonna see. Set your bullock up over here and call upon Baal. And they was doing all their stuff, and they said, oh wait, is he asleep? Why he ain't on fire? Your guy must be asleep. Go get him. And he was clowning him. And he said, all right, now watch out. I'm finna invoke the name of the Lord. Matter of fact, look, wet everything up. Wet it up 3 times, get it completely soaked 3 times. Because Baal couldn't turn yours on fire. After they soaked it 3 times, he called upon the name of the Lord. Not only did the thing catch on fire, but everything caught on fire and consumed up everything. It's a good account of that. Like I said, that's in the book of 1 Kings chapter 18. You can start at probably like verse 22, and read it down. But it's just funny.
Yeah. So I think brothers make good points on that, man. Just showing that the idolatrous practice. Yeah, the tarot card. That's big in Atlanta. The tarot card, hand reading, face reading. You go to little 5 points, man. That's all that's down there. They got the crystals for you. They got everything.
And then I messed up because I stopped, but I need to pick it back up. We need to slam dunk on that EFI madness because Jake getting into EFI. I was putting together a whole little lesson talking about that wickedness, but Jake is into that. But that's BS too. Yeah. That's BS too. Hey, Look, Captain Ashala and I, we was out there, we was scouting this little spot in the wilderness for something, and we saw Jake was damn near. They had EFI practices on there, out in the out. It was deep in the woods. It took us hours to get out there, and we were seeing people coming on the way there and leaving, and it was strange. They was doing them little rituals out there. We was like, man, I pinned it though. I pinned it. I said, all right, look, we're gonna come back here and we gonna just we gonna slam dunk on this, but you gotta be prepared. They'll shoot you. But yeah, hey, just one more in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, man, because understand, listen, it's not an innocuous thing to just be involved in this, right? Give me verse 8. We're gonna do 8 and then we'll read through 12.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, beginning at verse 8. But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well it as he that made it.
So you say, hey, the Lord, he hates the idol and he hates the idol maker.
Right.
It's don't get it. You cursed by doing that thing.
Both gotta be destroyed.
Hey, don't even do that little cross thing where you do the mother. No, man, watch out on all of that. Go ahead.
He, because he made it, and it, because being corruptible, it was called God.
The Lord said, you got him twisted. Go ahead.
That's right. For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto God.
I thought he just liked to hate the sin and not the sinner. Hey, listen, the Lord hates it all. Don't get caught out there. How many people die and lose their life on so-called New Year's from drunk driving or all type of wickedness? Speaking of which, hey, man, shout out to the brother Jonah and Watchman for Israel. Shout out to the brother's family. We praying for all y'all and their strength, man. Lord be with that brother in his spirit. He was a righteous brother, you know. But how many people get caught up in dangerous situations and get caught up in the twist because of the wickedness going on these folly days?
Yeah.
There's punishments, right, for that, right? Go ahead.
For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it.
That's kind of self-evident, right? Verse 11.
Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise.
These idols are a stumbling block unto you. Worshiping this is a stumbling block unto you. Do not just do it for your children. Don't do it to get along with your spouse. Don't do it to get along with your family. Don't do it because we're playing salvation games when you do it. You're playing around with your salvation and your soul when you partake in this. It's better to sit in a dark room and do nothing if that's what you got to do. You understand? Keep going. Verse 12, we already read it, but just to close it out on this portion.
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life.
You do not want to be caught being a spiritual fornicator.
Yeah.
You know, you do not want a corrupted life. Cause look, we gonna show a little earlier. These are same exact gods that we fighting right now are the same exact gods that we was fighting in the church that Paul was fighting. And we're gonna show it and we're gonna prove it, right? Go ahead.
Now let's just read this quick point and we can get into that out. Because I know you got a lot on that. I just want to read this quick point. Let's start here. This is an article, Janus' God by Anderson Locke, right? and he does an article concerning Janus. There's even a coin. They had an ancient Roman coin of Janus in the Roman culture. So that's how you know it was a true god. Right? Let's just read that. What is a Janus coin? Let's read that real quick.
Janus also oversaw the initiation of financial enterprises and humankind's transition from barbarianism to civilization.
Right, same thing Wikipedia said, Reed.
A major aspect of this was the creation of coins. Roman myth says that Janus was the first among the gods or humans to mint coins.
Right.
Because of this, the image of his double-faced head appeared on many Roman coins. These coins can still be found in museums today, and representations of Janus coins are popular on jewelry.
Right. So you see any two-faced jewelry, that's usually going back, right, to Janus, right, for the most part. See somebody with a two-faced chain, a two-headed, that's usually going back to Janus, right? Or some Greek and Roman culture. You know, Greek had like a two-headed dog. They had different gods in that manner too, with two heads, right? Let's read this right here, though. Let's just read this part, this little bit.
Count that one. Janus was known as the initiator of human life, transformations between stages of life, and shifts from one historical era to another. Ancient Romans believed Janus ruled over life events such as weddings, births, and deaths. He oversaw seasonal events such as planting, harvests, seasonal changes, and the new year.
And the what?
And the new year.
And the new year. So Janus is the overseer of your new year. That's your New Year's resolution. That's your New Year's celebration. Read on.
According to Roman mythology, Janus was present at the beginning of the world. As the god of gates, Janus guarded the gates of heaven and held access to heaven and other gods. For this reason, Janus was often invoked first in ancient Roman religious ceremonies, and during public sacrifices, offerings were given to Janus or for any other deity. In fact, there is evidence that Janus was worshipped long before many of the other Roman gods, dating all the way back to the time of Romulus, the founder of the first ruler of Rome.
Right, so this goes back. This goes way back, right? This Janus worshiping. Read.
And if you ever wondered how the month of January got its name, you have Janus to thank. As the Roman god of beginnings and transitions, Janus is the namesake of January, the first month of a new year.
And then now you have Julian, right? With the Julian calendar, right? The Gregorian calendar. Janus is the first month of the year, right? Coining New Year's, first month, January, all of that comes from Janus, right? All comes from Janus and Greco-Roman culture, right? Actually, really Roman culture, right? So that's like they said, for New Year's, January, you got Janus and the Romans to thank for that.
And Salaki, you got that other that one?
This one, I believe,
that article from Papio.
Let me see.
They had that list.
Yep, right here, right? The 10 interesting facts about Janus. Yeah, let's bring that up.
Yeah. And we went through more of these, but it's just a good, because I be screenshotting lessons. If you want to screenshot, think of this, right?
Yeah, let's read this interesting facts about Janus.
Count that one. 10 interesting facts about Janus. Number 1, the month of January is thought to be named after him. 2, he rules over beginnings and endings of all things, including war and peace. He is the god of thresholds, where he was worshipped. He was associated with birth and death. He was linked to all forms of travel by land and sea. He had no priesthood, but was invoked at the start of most ceremonies. One of his titles are Father of the Gods. He is most frequently referred to as simply Father. Mornings were thought to belong to him, associating him with the dawn.
The beginning, right? The morning, the beginning of the day, dawn, right? That's what they coming with that, read.
He made a volcanic hot spring erupt, according to myth, to protect saving women when they were being kidnapped by Rome's founder, Romulus.
Okay.
He has two heads facing the opposite directions.
All right, so that's 10 interesting facts about Janus, right?
Yeah, man.
Just lock it on.
Go ahead, Ken.
I had a few quick precepts to add on to this point real quick.
Bring it out.
I don't want Nikawasha. Could you grab me the book of Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 3 real quick? I don't want you to grab me I want to say Psalm 37 and verse 5, as well as Psalm 121 and verse number 1.
Yeah, Psalms 37 and 5.
Start 1.
Done.
Right, because I want to express the point that some people may not see exactly all too much what's wrong with going with dedicating the first of the year, so-called, to doing better and things like that. But I don't want Al-Haran said something very profound at the beginning of this lesson, that when you're dedicating your time or committing this work onto this new year, January, right? You're invoking that God to help you, right? To get these things done, to get your health in order, to get your life right, right? To get your finances together. And that's not correct according to the scriptures. Please read that, Baba Kasha, that Proverbs.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, beginning at verse 3. Commit thy works unto Yahweh, and thy thoughts shall be established.
Because the Bible told you to commit your works unto the Most High God, right? And that's how everything's going to be established. That's how these things are going to come to pass, right? You're not supposed to be committing your works onto January, be good to me, right? You're not supposed to be committing your works onto 2025, bring forth good blessings for me. That's not going to work. Right? That's only going to work if you bring those matters to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's the only way that's going to happen, right? Read that in Psalm 37.
Which verse you want?
That's like it. Psalm 37, verse 5.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37, beginning at verse 5.
Let's like it. Start off at verse 3.
Verse 3. Trust in Yahweh and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed.
Trusting in the Most High and doing well, but you're not doing well if you committed idolatry. You're not doing well if you worshiping this Roman god Janus, right? You have to do good and trust in the Most High. Faith is a superpower. It's about adequate faith, but you're not practicing that if you're dedicating these things onto the new year, which is foolish to think that it was starting dead in the middle of winter,
Yeah.
But keep reading in verse 5.
Delight thyself also in Yahweh, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart.
3.
Commit thy way unto Yahweh. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass.
The Most High is going to be the one to bring these things to pass. He's the one who's going to help you to get your health in order. That's who health and healing comes from, pursuant to the book of, I want to say, Sirach, right? He's the one who, again, who's going to bless you with that financial security that you may be looking for, right? He's the one who's going to help you to get the knowledge of the scriptures, right? He's the one who's going to help you through all your situations. But you got to trust and do what it is that he's required of you. Right, that's who your help comes from, right? That's what I wanted to Psalm 121.
All right. You want me to start at verse 1 or just go to 2?
Start at verse 1, Baba Kasha.
Okay, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 121, verse 1. I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth.
Right. So your help comes from the Most High God, Yahweh, right, who made heaven and earth. Janus, he ain't made none of this. Janus, he ain't the God over nothing. That's an idol, right? He's not over the beginning nor the end. The Most High is. We've expressed that all throughout this. But when you're exalting him to that position, right, to say that that's the one, or that January is the one who's going to bring these things to pass within your life, now you're committing that work onto him, and that's off. But you got to commit these things onto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and he's going to make it happen. And
That's right.
and that's not something that you got to wait until the end of the year for. 2 Corinthians 6 and verse 2, it tells you that now is the day of salvation. Now you can change. You can change today, right? Like the elder, he says it all the time. You don't got to wait until tomorrow, but you can change right now, right? You can make that commitment and that dedication to right now, right? Not, it don't got to be later.
Could have made it yesterday.
Exactly. You could have made it yesterday, right? So don't wait. Don't wait, man. Get right today. And I yield on that point.
Excellent point. I want to touch on this question the brother asked. This is a good question. People ask sometimes concerning and mentioning the name of idols. Carlos Wilson says, one question, if I may, what is the breakdown on not to mention the names of other gods? Let's read that in what is that? Is it Exodus 23? I believe. Lock it. 23. Let me see. Try 13. 14, maybe. One of the two.
Verse 13. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 23, now, verse 13. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth.
Right. So this is referring into worshiping, not because even in the Bible, they're mentioning other gods. They mention Bar4Bar, right? They mention Jupiter and Mercury, right? So it's not to say you can't say the name, but in practice, you can't mention these gods as if you're going to worship them, summon them, right? Give any reverence to them in any shape, way, or form, right? That they have any credence to even being a said God, right? That's what it means not to mention them, right? It's give no credence to these guys as far as worship or reverence, right? Question. That's a good question. I hope you understand that, King. All right, I want to go into that Jupiter. I know you had another article.
No, I mean, it would just be more. It just would have been more of what we already
Janus.
did. So, yeah. Hey, so what we're gonna read now is just a quick passage from we're gonna Acts chapter 19, and Nassim, you already know what I want in Maccabees. All right. So we're gonna start right here at Acts 19, start at verse 13, Bob Pashah. Because what we're about to do is show you, like I said, that these are the same gods, these same pantheon that been plaguing our people from the jump. These are the same gods that the Lord has been angry at us, angry with us over these people, or over these idols for years, for thousands of years at this point. Right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 19, beginning at verse 13. Then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits in the name of Yahushua, saying, we adjure you by Yahushua, whom Paul preacheth.
So you see, now mind you, so we understand that these are people that weren't necessarily with the Church of Paul or with the 12. These were so-called vagabond Jews, but they did believe in Yahushua, right? So understanding that. Keep going.
And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye?
So you see, listen, we understand that this was a very strong demon. This was a very strong spirit of wickedness that we're about to read about. Because he says, okay, Yahushua for sure. Paul, all right, he against you too. Well, who are you? You're not on my level.
I don't know you.
I'm about to roll you up. You know what I'm saying? There's levels to this, and you can't box with me, is what he's saying. These are strong delusions and strong demons, right? Because even Yahushua said, hey, listen, some of these demons, they got to come out through fasting and prayer. They're not as easy to exercise as some of the other ones, right? These are strong demons. That's why they're still alive today. I mean, that's why we're still battling with these idols today, right? Keep going.
And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded.
Man,
and
he was moving feet.
And this was known to all the Jews and Greeks also dwelling at Ephesus. And fear fell on them all. And the name of Yahushua was magnified.
Right.
And many that believed came and confessed and showed their deeds.
Right.
Many of them also, which used curious arts, brought their books together and burned them before all men.
Hey, that's heavy right there, because it said what? They showed their belief and their deeds.
That's right.
Meaning they had works to prove you, hey, we don't follow the ways of the heathen. We're gonna keep God's commandments. That's the deeds. Like, I don't see how people get around. Like, there's no other deeds. It's gonna be God's commandments. That's dietary law, moral law, civil law, right? Festivals. These are the deeds. Go ahead, Ad.
And they counted the price of them and found it 50,000 pieces of silver.
So we see right here, just setting the stage, it was a big conversion of people in the town. You're gonna see that this is in the space of Ephesus, right? And because it was very strong of this worship of this pantheon, like I'm gonna show you Jupiter, Diana, which we know started with invoking Janus. They're all in one, right? Keep going.
So mightily grew the word of God and prevailed.
Yeah.
After these things were ended, Paul purposed in the spirit, when he had passed through Macedonia and Achaia, to go to Jerusalem, saying, I must have been there. I must also see Rome.
Right. So, just jump to verse 23.
Count that one. And the same time there arose no small stir about that way.
So you see, it became a problem as it became more known, right? As Yahushua was being preached throughout the place, and it started ruffling feathers. Could you give me that in John 11? Because I'm gonna be going there right after. All right, go ahead.
For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana, brought no small gain unto the craftsmen.
So you see, listen, how his occupation was to make shrines to the Roman goddess Diana. That's what he made them out of silver. He made those idols. That's how he got his money, and he was very well known in that community of idol makers, right? Let's see what was happening.
Whom he called together with the workmen of like occupation, and said, Sirs, ye know that by this craft we have our wealth.
Right? So he said, hey, this is how we make our money, right? Keep going.
Moreover, ye see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but also throughout all Asia, this Paul hath persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods, which are made with hands.
And now see, and Paul was teaching what we just taught, that this is nothing. These idols are nothing. Paul was teaching what Baruch was teaching. Paul was teaching or what Solomon was teaching. That this is BS, right? And so they say, hey, he kind of ruffling the feathers. He's kind of messing it up real quick, right? Keep going.
So that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised, and her magnificence should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worship.
So you see right there now, I don't know now. Give me that in John 11 when it said they will come take away our place in nation. So this dude is complaining, saying, listen, Paul's coming here teaching Yahweh Shai. He making us look bad. Not only is he making us look bad, he's taking money out of our pocket. He's showing that Diana's nothing, is reducing her magnificence, which we know all Asia in the world. Now, this is also proof that world don't always mean globe, because we know the entire earth was not worshiping Diana. We know this, right?
Very true.
Just context. This is an example, right? So he said, hey, it's a problem. Over here, us Jews, that's what we do. We worship Diana. How do we get that? You first, Nassim.
Card 1. It's the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 1. Now long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
Yep.
And not to live after the laws of God.
Mm-hmm.
And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympius.
So you see now, that's one of the first things that happened during the time of the Maccabees, is that the old man said, listen, Israelites, y'all need to forsake the Lord, forsake your practices, forsake everything. And you know what? Your altar, this needs to be named after Jupiter Olympius, which was like, I guess, one of the top they done data over there. But even the worship of Jupiter did not happen unless you invoked Janus first. And Diana was another top figure of their pantheon, right? So obviously they were successful if, here back in Ephesus, that worship had became so pervasive that people were defending it and say, hey, everybody over here worship Diana, and we're going to show and prove that it's Jupiter too, right? So these are the same exact gods that that Esau brought and that we went off, right? And we went off by, right? Okay, now give me that. Now, mind you, give me that. I don't want in John chapter 11.
This book of John chapter 11. I'm gonna start at 47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we do? For this man doeth many miracles. Mm-hmm. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
So you see, even look, that's why they conspired to kill Yahweh Shai. They said, listen, what are we gonna do? Because he's doing miracles, people are believing on him. It's taking away our prominence, it's taking away money out of our pocket, and it's causing a stir. One massive. Look, this in the slave insurrection, this is the person who heard your plan and went to run to tell Massa.
Yep.
That's what happened then. And look, I'm gonna tell you, in a more current time, this is the person who's in the church to say, hey, listen, y'all stop that stuff. Stop that. Oh, no, don't do that. You're gonna mess up gonna mess up what we got going on over here. Hey, you're taking money out of my plate, because we know that the Christian pastors have had conventions about what are we doing, because especially like young Judite brothers, the Southern Kingdom brothers, they're leaving the church in droves. A lot of them are coming into the truth. Mm-hmm. They're like, what are we doing? What's going on? That's why they hate us. That's why they hate the truth, right? But going back over to the book of Acts, this dude said, like, yo, we're in trouble. This preaching of Christ is messing up the money and the worship that we have going on, right? Verse 28.
Verse 28. Take heed, therefore, unto yourselves and unto all the flock over which the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit.
No. We're in Acts 19 and verse 28.
Oh, Slakia. Right. And when they heard these sayings, they were full of wrath and cried out, saying, Great is Diana of the Ephesians.
Right, which is, hey, listen, this is in Ephesus, so there's no coincidence why Paul had to write a whole letter to the Ephesians. And listen, and when you understand this, you better understand the book of Ephesians and why he had to speak to them like that, because they really like the manner of the Greeks best of all, right? Yeah, give me that. 2 Maccabees 4 and verse 14. Now see, after we're gonna bring that after this.
And the whole city was filled with confusion. And having caught Gaius and Aristarchus, men of Macedonia, Paul's companions in travel, they rushed with one accord into the theater. And when Paul would have entered in unto the people, the disciples suffered him not.
Right. So you see, they're trying everything that they can to get the preachers of the Lord, preachers of Yahweh out. They're trying to get us away from them, eradicate them, get them off the corners, get them out the churches. Look, ban this equivalent of shadow banning their rooms, banning their videos, putting them on a Southern Poverty Law Center, labeling them as terrorist organizations, firing from their job for trying to keep the Sabbath. It's the same thing happened today under these same gods that we telling you about today. Like scripture says, it's gods many, it's pagans, a whole bunch of pagan gods. These specific ones we've been fighting for a long time. Keep going.
And certain of the chiefs of Asia, which were his friends, sent unto him, desiring him that he would not adventure himself into the theater.
Right. All right. Just jump to sake of time. Jump to verse 34.
Kind of one. But when they knew that he was a Jew, all with one voice about the space of 2 hours cried out, Great is Diana of the Ephesians.
2 hours.
And
2 hours. They defending this Diana. They defending this. You know, they going off and they fighting for this. Hey, look, this is Jake. These are the Jews defending this, right? The same way. Hey, look, they'll defend that Christmas. They'll defend that New Year. They'll defend all this other pagan stuff.
Yeah, they will.
It's that same spirit happening today, right? Keep going.
And when the town clerk had appeased the people, he said, Ye men of Ephesus, what man is there that knoweth not how that the city of the Ephesians is a worshiper of the great goddess Diana, and of the image, and of the image which fell down from Jupiter?
So you see, so these are the same gods that the Maccabees first instilled, right? In the name of these gods, is they took your temple down. Now, listen, you're gonna look silly if you just celebrated the rededication of your temple from being defiled by these specific gods, but then you turn around a week later, you commemorating them again.
Yeah.
You see, right? All right. Now keep going.
Seeing then that these things cannot be spoken against, ye ought to be quiet and to do nothing rashly.
Right.
For ye have
all right, keep on.
For ye have brought hither these men, which are neither robbers of churches, nor yet blasphemers of your goddess.
Right. So look, this is kind of their response to this. People are complaining, and basically they lost out on this, and Paul and them won just for the sake of time, right? They lost out on having prominence or having that stronghold of Diana, and we know the way the church of Ephesus how it grew. All right, now give me that, and then I'll be done.
Harder one. You said First Maccabees 4 and 16.
Start at verse 14 and down.
Carter one.
We're gonna read the 17.
Carter one. This is Second Maccabees chapter 4 verse 14.
Yeah.
That the priests had no courage to serve any more at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise, after the game of discus called them forth.
So you see, listen, that's the same thing that's happening today. Our priests, our strong men, no longer are they trying to hold fast to the traditions of the Lord, but they sold out to preach to Christianity. They sold out to preach Islam. They sold out to preach anything but Yahweh Shai, right? Keep going.
Hard one. Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all.
And listen, that's what's happening. Instead of, because we see the honors of our fathers. We say, hey, we saw Mattathias said, listen, call to remembrance the faith of your fathers, the great acts of your fathers. We see how King David talked to Solomon and said, listen, call yourself a man. You know, we see the honors of our fathers, but see, our great men have rejected that. And then we know that this is the curse, Isaiah chapter 3, when the Lord said, I will take away your captains, you know, I will take away your strong men. But see, that's why we got to get it back, right? And because Jake is sold out to follow these damn Greeks, that they'll get mad at you bring this up. Your granny or your mama, whoever that got that same Bible that's collecting dust on her nightstand, as she's into this Greek and Roman goddess worship, she get mad at you for trying to, hey, look, sneak a Hanukkah, sneak a menorah around there.
They want none of that.
Oh man, hey, look, don't have the seal. Don't have the seal. They really get mad. You know, because we like the manners of the Grecians best of all. But see, this is the verse 16 is the point. This is why it's a problem, right? And how and why we look stupid, right? Go ahead.
Counter one. By reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose customs they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all things.
That is Jake's problem now. You be having Esau, who is your enemy, or all these other nations be your enemies, be your savior. You looking to them to save you. You looking for a president to save you. You looking for, or look at how they did in Acts. By these same gods were their temples destroyed. By these same gods where all their customs were thrown away for. We read that in Maccabees. Now, a few years later, they're holding on to Diana and Jupiter and fighting the man of the Lord for that, thinking that they're gonna be saved by this. Hey, you know, this is how our city get down. Jake doing that same thing today, and that's why we have a problem, because we still looking at Esau to do that.
Yep, that's right.
You know, so it's a bunch of points to be made on this, but I'm gonna just yield right there because we had 2 hours.
Yeah, let's end it with Mark. Let's go to Mark 7, man. Let's go to Mark 7 and let's read verse 6. Let's read 6 through 8. Because this is the whole point of the New Year's and its origin and its pagan origins, right? Is that we've treated the traditions of men more important than God's commandments and his traditions. So like Quran just read, we follow the traditions of the heathen earnestly, but put aside God's commandments wholeheartedly, right? So let's read that, Nassim. Verse 6.
Counter 1. This is the book of Mark, chapter 7, and verse 6. He answered and said unto them, well hath Esaias prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips,
right?
But their heart is far from me.
So our people, they honor Yahweh with their lips, but their heart, meaning their mind, is far from him in worship, right? They worship him how the Greco-Roman cultures worship their gods, right? But they don't worship him as keeping the commandments and the true faith in Yahweh Shai. Read.
Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Read.
For laying aside the commandment of God,
they do what?
Ye hold the tradition of men.
They do what up?
Ye hold the tradition of men.
And that's what they have done with all these pagan holidays, from Easter to Halloween, from New Year's, Valentine's Day, Easter, Halloween, 4th of July, all these hot Thanksgiving, right? Christmas, and all the ones in between, right? That's what they have done. They keep the traditions of men and not the traditions of God, man. They put those to the side, man. Right? Our brothers got any other points?
No. We jump down to verse 9.
Verse 9, go ahead.
And he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of God, that ye may keep your own tradition.
Read it again, And
he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of God, that ye may keep your own tradition.
And that's what New Year's has taught you, right? It has taught you a tradition and to reject God, man. So with that, we are the Sons of Thunder Israelites. It is our heart's prayer and desire for Israel that they might be saved. Captain Yaquad,
Captain Haran,
Officer Nakawasha.
All right, and this is another episode of the Bar4Bar New Year's and its pagan origins, man. I hope everybody was edified. Hope everybody having a blessed Kanaka, right? Keeping the right traditions, right? And hope everybody having a blessed Sabbath, man. Shalom.
Shalom.
Kwam Yasha Allah.
Thank you for watching. If you would like to support the body, you can donate via Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. We are the Sons of Thunder. It's our heart's prayer and desire for Israel that they might be saved.